Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another videos, another paid request, this time for I Live Again 1. And he wanted me to talk about the pilot to the TV show 21 Jump Street. Now, for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, I knew of the show. I knew that Johnny Depp was in it. Stephen J. Tennell had a hand in creating the show. He was one of the big guys behind the A-Team, among other shows. I want to say he helped create Knight Rider as well. Could be wrong on that. And pretty much the idea of the show is you have these cops, but they look fairly young, so they can work undercover at high schools, whether it be drug deals, other stuff going on, and take care of the bad guys. Now, like I said, I did not grow up with the show. I did like the two movies, the Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum movies. I thought they were very funny and very witty. I know in the first one, they bring back Johnny Depp's character and they kill him off. I can understand if you're a big fan of the show, why that would piss you off. I can perfectly understand. It would be like if 10 years later they did a comedy version of the X-Files and they bring in Mulder and Scully and they get killed off in a goofball way. I'd be super pissed too, so I can perfectly understand why some don't like that. But I don't have that connection with the show. And so watching the pilot, which is in two parts, if you put them together, it's about the length of a full film. It was alright, but I wouldn't say I was a big fan of it. Like, let me put it this way. My takeaways were Johnny Depp. It was nice to see him playing a role fairly young, fairly fresh-faced, that wasn't some kind of eccentricness to it. Would be Ed Wood, Edward Scissorhands, Jack Sparrow, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as Willy Wonka. Just playing a regular guy, in this case, a regular, not quite rookie cop, but young cop, who is a bit more serious on solving cases compared to other people on his team. So, yeah, it was refreshing to see that. And Johnny Depp is definitely the big plus for this show. I just see he's the reason why this show was popular. Just the rest of it, I mean, just based on the pilot, there's not much in terms of action that really stands out. I don't mind the theme song, 21 Jump Street, but the rest of the music in the pilot, didn't really care for the songs. Definitely no Miami Vice when it comes to that. The plot, you have this younger guy who's having dinner with his parents and his sister. These two guys come in, these two black guys with shotguns saying, this kid owes us $6,000 and how about we take these cars as well? So they take the two cars. Meanwhile, Johnny Depp is a cop in uniform with a much older partner where they investigate, they talk with the family. Johnny tries to talk to the young guy, but the young guy's being a whiny bitch. It's like, you got your family in this situation in the first place, fuckface. What happens if they come back? I don't know, maybe you should die. I don't fucking know, kid. Guy's a loser. Seemed like a loser. So Johnny Depp's trying to talk with his older partner. There's a point where they get into this little car chase. They stop these guys. Not the guys from the beginning, but different guys. Johnny Depp fights this guy who attacked him. His partner gets wounded. And then people don't really want to work with Johnny Depp. They feel that he looks too young. They feel that criminals don't really take him seriously. And other people just don't want to work with Depp just for how young he seems to be. I don't know if this would ever really be a problem with cops, but it is for this show. So the captain's pretty much trying to figure out what to do with Johnny Depp because, hey, I respect your father. Your father was a cop. You're very adamant on being a cop. So we have this program. It's called 21 Jump Street because that's where this church is at. And Johnny Depp says, what, Fast Times at Bust Your Buddy High? Hey, it's either this or nothing. And so Johnny Depp's character, he'll play the saxophone, which I'm like, okay, he plays the saxophone, alright. And he gets some really bad songs. He meets the team. The team didn't really, on first impression, they didn't seem much. You have this Asian guy. You have this other guy that, I don't know, they didn't really bring much to the table at first. The captain seems like a hippie who says, you dig? And that type of vernacular. And pretty much like the first of these two-part pilot is Johnny learning about how to be a kid again, how to be a high schooler again. So there's a montage where he dresses up in clothes, or they fix up his hair, or playing arcade video games. I wish I had that kind of training. Until he finally gets into this high school, and that's kind of be the beginning of the second part. Now, there are moments I did enjoy. I enjoy a confrontation where a guy throws a cigarette at Johnny Depp, so Depp takes the cigarette, puts the guy's down his pants, and goes, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit," and puts the guy's down his pants. I did like that. But very few and far in between. Like I said, there's not a lot of action. I'm not sure about the other characters on the show. Some of the dialogue. Maybe I can't save your tail, man. But. And like the one kid who's with the family at the beginning of the first part of the pilot, he's doing smash and grabs for these two thugs. And then he gets into trouble. And then he's in a hospital. And he's being a fucking baby bitch. His acting really sucked ass. Especially when you're acting with Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp just outshines this guy's acting across the fucking hemisphere. Especially when the kid's trying to cry and failing at it. It's kind of just them. It wasn't a whole lot of Depp trying to fit in high school. I didn't really get a lot of that. Which maybe there's some humor, there's some stuff you could have gotten out of this guy who's trying to fit in high school, but maybe that's throughout the rest of the show. But pretty much it leads to, at one point, Johnny Depp's chasing this guy. Well, actually, it's a sting operation. They set up these guys. A little bit of a firefight happens. Johnny chases this guy through the subway, gets the guy. They have a little bit of a fight, but it's not much to a fight. Pretty much a few punches are thrown. They arrest the guy. I do like the one girl, the African American lady, who's like, man, when they say white boys ain't fast, woo, they're wrong. Pretty much, hey, good job on being fast, white boy. I like that girl. I forget her name. I did like her. But it's one of those things that as I'm watching, I'm sitting there going, I don't know, it doesn't have a big style so far, like Miami Vice, or at level the music's much better in that show. It doesn't have much of the fun action extravaganza as, say, an A-Team, or like, because I Live Again 1 has me reacted to two other pilots. Like The Greatest American Hero I enjoyed for the humor and for what it's trying to say about superheroes. It was a bit wittier, and I thought the actors did their jobs well. Knight Rider, that was a bit more fun with the action bit pieces with the car, the Hoff being the Hoff. This, I hate to say it didn't really impress me much. I would never see the rest of the show. Unless there was a request, but it just, I don't know, it didn't. I hate to say I do prefer the movies more than the pilot. I would commend Johnny Depp. He definitely has that charisma. He definitely has that star factor. I can see why people gravitate towards him. He became a teen idol, and I think that's one of the reasons why this became a hit show. But with that said, it is what it is. It wasn't bad to watch. It just, for the most part, rather uninteresting. At least to me. As I said, the other characters I didn't really. I was indifferent to. The kid who was like the victim, who just more whiny and stupid than anything, just to be came off as a fucking idiot. The Like I said, it wasn't. I didn't really see a lot of wit or cleverness throughout it. The action scenes. I know it's a pilot, but the thing with the pilot, you kind of want to start off pretty big out of the gate, and I just didn't really notice anything remarkable with the. Even when you look at again the A Team or Knight Rider and some of those shows, the action here, it also had. I mean, it's very 80s, and sometimes like gets a little bit of smirk unintentionally. I just see some of the material that the movies were trying to make fun of. So it wasn't for me. 21 Jump Street. It wasn't for me. I can appreciate Johnny Depp, but that's pretty much it. At least maybe it had some good music and some style. I didn't really feel that either. I don't know if this needed two parts, and they're like 45 minutes apiece, so yeah, that's like an hour and a half. It felt a bit long. It felt a bit of a slog to sit through. That's just me, though. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.